Well, good morning to everyone. I'm not too sure how to approach this little video I'm going to make. I'm probably going to upload it later on to YouTube. Not too sure that at the moment, but I'm leaning very heavily towards uploading this because it's such an important issue. I'm scheduled to have a debate, a dialogue with a revert to Islam called Kenny Bomer. Hope I said it right, Kenny. And it's on the crucifixion of Christ. And so I've had a debate, and I can't recall who I had it with. I believe it might be on YouTube. It was on Zoom, at least that platform, and it was informative to say the least. And one of the core issue here is basically if on the crucifixion is that the Quran denies the crucifixion of Christ, and there's different theories exactly what happened. There are some Muslims, some prominent Muslims, such as Shabir, that hold to some type of, or Shabir Ali, that hold to some type of swoon theory, but the most Muslims that I've encountered seem to go with that there was some substitute, either Simon of Cyrene or Judas or some other individual that actually took the place of Jesus. And of course, the Christian position is that is quite clearly I don't think there's not a sect in the world that denies that Jesus did not go to the cross. The historical evidence for the crucifixion of Christ is overwhelming. I've said before, and I'll say again, that that the certainty of the crucifixion is the most attested to fact in ancient history. And you have all sorts of skeptics, Bart Ehrman, John Dominic Crossan, Marcus Borg, members of the Jesus Seminar, all saying that Jesus was crucified on a cross. Now, they may deny the supernatural events surrounding that, but they all talk about the absolute historicity of the crucifixion of Christ. And I will certainly be bringing these points out. It's also attested to by people like Josephus, Tacitus is another one, a Roman scholar who mentioned Pilate and such. And so I think the evidence, the historical evidence, is overwhelming. However, the Quran denies that. Now, if the Christian, we see the denial of the crucifixion, especially in one Surah 4, verse 157, I believe, where it denies that they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, and it seemed like it seemed as they did so. But I think that. But I find that very troubling because, first of all, let's just suspect, if Jesus was crucified and he was fixed to the cross and he died and he rose again, then Islam is false. I mean, there's no there needs to be no other debate on the issue. And my Muslim friend, if you're going to be consistent, you would have to, at least logical, you would have to say, okay, on this point, in Surah 4, the Quran is wrong. But I think that there's more light found in Surah 3, 54 and 55. And I'm going to get my little Quran here. Excuse me. Because I think it says so much. And if you're a thinking Muslim, you have to be you have to be troubled by this. Now let's see if I can find it. Excuse me, my friends, most of you know I have a pretty severe visual impairment, and so some things are a bit difficult for me. But let me find this here. Okay. It's the Quran that I'm using. I looked at a number of them and read it. But let me read this one. And when Jesus sensed disbelief among them, he said, "Who will be my supporters in the cause of God?" And the disciples said, "We are God's supporters. We believe in God. Note that we are Muslims." And so we see that according to the Quran, the earliest followers of Jesus were Muslims. And then if I may just drop down to verse 55. So God said to Jesus, "I will gather you up." Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. Our Lord, and we believe in what you have sent down. Thus they followed the messenger to enroll among us witnesses. They plotted, and that would be speaking of the Jews, while God plotted. However, that God is the best of plotters. I looked at another Qurans. I got the word plot, I got the word scheme, I got the word plan, and I got the word deceive. And the ones who were plotting against Jesus was in a, and I'll use that word, I won't use the word deceive, and I know there is debate on that, but we'll use the word plot just for the sake of the argument here. The word plot here is used in a negative way. And it says that Allah plotted. Also, I believe it's the same word. And so the plotting is in a negative way. And so what is the deception here? Is the deception is, when we look at Surah 4, 157, is that the earliest followers of Jesus, those who were called Muslims by the Quran, were deceived into believing that Jesus died upon the cross. And if the Quran is correct, this is the greatest deception in the world. You have, what, 2 billion Christians in the world? All who believe that Jesus died on the cross. And so this deception has covered the whole world. What is that? So I have to ask my Muslim friend, what does that say about the character of Allah? If he is deceiving and plotting, and the earliest followers of Jesus were deceived into believing that Jesus died on a cross and he didn't, what does that say about the character of Allah? You have to ask yourself, how do you know that I have not been deceived? One of the words, I believe, is, well, no, I've lost my train of thought, so I won't really touch on that at this moment. But I'm looking at the character of Allah here, and quite frankly, I don't think that Allah can necessarily be trusted here. It's just such a troubling passage, and I don't know. I mean, and I don't want to get into a big war with people, and I know I'm going to risk getting called a number of names up, but that can't be helped. I really want to have an open and honest dialogue with my Muslim friends about this. Again, like I say, a central issue here basically is the crucifixion of Christ. if the crucifixion of Christ did not happen, then it was perpetrated by Allah, that he deceived millions of people into believing the biggest lie in human history. And therefore, if Allah is going to lie about that and deceive about that, is how do you know Muhammad was a prophet? How do you know that Muhammad himself was not sent along as a deception? You can't put your trust in you can't put your trust in Allah. I'll simply come out and say it. You cannot put your trust in Allah. And if the crucifixion did happen, again, you have the same problem, is you have a revelation that is okay. Okay, I hope I didn't lose anything, but I just wanted to share those things with you. I still think I might upload this. I am definitely going to probably fine-tune this a bit more and have a further discussion. Again, thanks for watching. I would appreciate prayer. My wife is a bit under the weather, nothing too serious, but not feeling well. I wasn't feeling real great last night, but I think I'm okay now. And I've just got a lot of other little things going on in my life that that are causing me, shall we say, just a bit of distress, not a lot. So I appreciate prayers from the Christians. And I just want to say to my Muslim friends, again, I think that very often that we wind up talking past one another. We don't listen to the other side of the argument. And so I've made this video. I am prepared to listen to, and I would prefer possibly just maybe a private message. You can, of course, comment in the comment section below. I don't have a problem with that, but very often I miss it. But what I will say is that if I'm just going to address this issue itself, and I want to say, I really want to stay on topic. I don't have a, maybe it's something to do with I don't have a brain that can do 1,000 things at one time. So I hope that the comments are, on topic. I want to say to the Christians, I actually will delete you if the comments are not Christ-like. I don't want any political stuff. I don't want any name calling on either side. Basically, let's deal with the issue. That way, we can actually have a real discussion. And again, and it's such an important discussion because, let's face it, our eternal destiny depends upon it. If Jesus did not die on a cross and I have been deceived, and I'm lost and I'm on my way to hell, and if Jesus did die on a cross, I have to say this to my Muslim friends: you're lost and on your way to hell. And so, since our eternal destiny is based upon this, it is possibly one of the most important discussions that we can have. So again, let's stay focused. Let's have a great day. God bless. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you.